Hi guys, it's Alexi coming at you with this week's installment of Retro Gaming Goodness. Now, if you've been following us this past month, you've noticed how we've dialed down the action just a teensy bit. I know, it's a bit unusual, but worry not, because we're back, and we're going all out this week, kicking down the door and bringing you retro action gaming at its finest. This week we're looking at a few games featuring some awesome sword slashing, magic blasting action this side of your old school consoles. So stick around because things are about to get intense. But before that, make sure to like and subscribe so you'll always be up to date with the latest retro news. Click that bell icon so you'll know exactly when our news goes live. Let's go! Now, if you want some side-scrolling action that puts you into the boots of a badass barbarian, then you might want to check out Windigo Productions' awesome-looking Commodore 64 game, Deathflood Dungeon of Doom. Take note, there's a whole lot of emphasis on the Deathflood. Deathflood Dungeon of Doom takes place in a large vertical dungeon full of enemies, traps, and you guessed it, a constantly rising flood. Your objective is to escape the dungeon by rising up and, well, keeping your head above water, just like in real life. Of course, things aren't that simple. You also get bonus objectives, hidden secrets, and some decisions to make in advancing the story. With 3 unique words and 19 individual levels, there's a lot to do and quite the distance to swim. So if you're looking for a survival side-scroller with unique graphics, challenging gameplay, and a cool soundtrack, you might want to prep for the Deathflood Dungeon of Doom. It's time to take a look at an arcade to Amiga port that's equally action-packed and I guess equally barbaric, but in a good way. We just caught wind that Basementape is an Amiga port of Rastan, a side-scrolling hack-and-slash video game released by the absolute legends in Taito for arcades in 1987. Due to its popularity and legend status, a lot of titles followed in its footsteps. Just taking a look at it brings back good old memories. Rastan brings us 5 action-packed levels of satisfying hack-and-slash gameplay with your obligatory boss battle at the end of each. You'll be plowing through flying demons, chimeras, valkyries, piranhas, undead, and many more on your journey to save the land of Lograth from certain doom. Things won't get boring though, as the game features a whole arsenal of badass weapons. You got axes, maces, and fire swords, each with badass attributes like extended range or attack power. It's an action game with a bit of RPG as you can deck out your character with armor and accessories to make sure the enemies go down faster, when you become the last man standing. It's true classic badassery retro style. So if you have a spare Amiga 500 lying around, you might want to give Rastan a good old spin. So we're shifting a bit from barbarian brawlers to knights in shining armor. While this game might not be as gritty and hardcore as the first two, it's still a nice challenge that features your classic epic action fantasy elements. I'm talking about the MSX release for Spellbound, the iconic 1980s classic by David Jones. Now, this classic came out in 1985 for the ZX Spectrum and Amstrad CPC home computers, and since then it had quite the following. Even though it was the second game in the classic Magic Knight series, Spellbound never came out on the MSX system back in 1985. But thanks to Mastropiero's itch.io, things are about to change. This MSX port started development this year with the sole intention of bringing the entire Magic Knight series to the MSX. Truly a heroic and much appreciated effort. However, this is an exclusive for itch.io with David Jones' blessing, so if you want to get this classic for your MSX, make sure not to go anywhere else. Otherwise, happy trails. And there you have it, under the week of sweet retro gaming goodness. If you have suggestions for any news to cover, or if we missed anything, you know the drill. Let us know down below. As always, don't forget to like the video so YouTube's algorithm shows us some love. Again, I'm Alexi, and I'll catch you all again next time.